Okay, everybody, so this is going to be what we call the female side of a cord. We just got finished doing the male side. That's another video prior to this one. Okay, so what you do is you go back. Generally, I go back about an inch or maybe just a tad bit more. Now, some of these boxes will actually come with a drawing diagram on the inside. My Hubbell ones don't, but I like Hubbell. You're going to run into some fiber or cloth style looking stuff. That stuff there, just snip it off just as close as you can get it, okay? That's what you want to do. You want to get it just as close as you can get it, all right? And what that does is that just keeps it out of your way. Now, each one of these here, and this is very important as well, I'm going to go ahead and open this up because I about made a mistake of taking everything apart, then pushing it through, which is a common mistake, by the way. You've got 3 screws here, and you're going to back these screws out. I always seem to grab the wrong screwdriver. You're going to back these screws out, and what's going to happen here is you're going to loosen it up from the main housing. I keep trying to tell myself that I have to remember that I've got a center point, guys. I'm totally new on this. Now, this is going to be your part that the wires are actually going to hook to. You got the ground, which is going to be your green. Okay. You're going to roll that open. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. There's a hole there. And what you want to do is you want to have every one of these backed off to open. Now, once you feel it starting to feel real funky, you need to stop because you don't want to roll it off its housing that's actually in there, okay? But what we're doing is we're just opening that hole up to receive that wire. Very simple. Now, once you do one of these, it's pretty much the same job on every single one. You have to excuse me. It's pretty much the same thing on every one that you're ever going to make. They're just going to be a little bit different on the way they're put together. Now, I do recommend getting a better brand. I don't recommend the cheap ones just because it's a drop cord. This here is going to be your slip-on housing. This is where the wire actually goes through, and it's going to be an important connection point and a holding point later in this video. So we kind of show you that right there, okay? I think I'm learning something about doing these videos, that I need to put something on here that'll create a central point. Usually most people, they just put this through here without doing anything to it. Be sure you don't forget that because that's going to really mess you up if you don't, because then you got to take it all back loose, especially if you got another end. Now this was the part that I was talking about on the male video. You got your black, your white, and your green. What is important is that you see the way this is actually made. There's a green, there's a neutral, silver, hot. The hot is always gold or brass, whatever. We're going to strip these back half length to what they are. Now, there's 2 different ways of doing this. You can either do one at a time, or you can try to get all of them in at one time and then tighten them up, okay? I'm dividing half that distance because I know that the parts goes inside the actual plug, and then you have the part that sticks out and has to bend. I generally start with the ground. Some people try to do all at one time. I just do one at a time. And now I will say that if you're doing some bigger cords, sometimes you can't do that because of the simple fact that the wire is so stiff that it's extremely, extremely difficult to do that. So I'm a ground guy first. I'll just go ahead and put the ground in first. You can do whatever order you want to. Now, when you're doing stuff like this, you just snug it down. You don't get crazy and tight. You can just pull on it as you're working it. Then that way you can say, oh, it's in there snug. All right. Because once you feel it snug down, just go about a quarter turn more because you know you're good then. And them stupid little flares, it's depending on what kind of cable you got, them little flares are just going to be a pain in the tail. So I maybe should have cut them back a little bit longer. But for the speed of the video and stuff like that, we're going to go ahead and just go with it. Now, watch out for little flares that stick out. If there is a little flare that sticks out, just make sure it doesn't move out. You can actually bend that flare and then it'll snap right off. So we got our ground, we got our neutral side. Now we're going to do our hot right here. Okay. Right there we go, right there. Okay. I do recommend higher quality cable ends. If you're going to put something on, I recommend that you do that. Now, this is the part where you have a lineup divot. You're going to see it on each piece right here. There's a divot right here, and then on your actual sleeve or holster, there's another divot. You can see it right there. And then what you're going to see is once you line up that divot and this divot, which a lot of times it's on the ground for some reason, once you line them two up, it peels in. And then it makes these pooch out. Now these don't take much to do them. Okay guys, like these guys, they literally go in and they turn. I guess I'm gonna use a screwdriver. You just put them in, turn till it's snug. You don't have to get downtown and crazy on it, okay? Right there. Right there. Then we're going to go back to one of the most important parts. This is going to be your collar sleeve that tightens down. And the reason we want this snug is whenever somebody goes up to grab this plug, that it's not going to pull the wires per se. And also just a little hint on maintenance. Never, ever, ever grab the plug like this and whip it out. Don't do that because then you're creating unnecessary stress on this. Walk up, grab the plug, pull the plug out, okay? So there you go, easy peasy. We've done both of them. You can go back to the previous video and see how the male side was done as well. So there you go. You can make your own drop cord, take your time. You can even go back and put a tester in it after you plug it in the wall to make sure that's properly wired. All right, we'll see y'all.